Port Angeles water crisis. Do not drink order lifted. #### urgent announcement. Final update, posted on July 20th at 5:15 p.m. On the morning of July 20th, a critical do not drink order was issued for all customers of the City of Port Angeles water utility. This decision came after thorough testing of water samples in the area, conducted by the Washington State Department of Health, in collaboration with the State Department of Ecology and the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Fortunately, it has been confirmed that your tap water is indeed safe for consumption and use. This precautionary measure was prompted by a fuel tanker accident that occurred at Indian Creek on July 18th. Although this incident took place outside the city limits, the Indian Creek Basin is a vital contributor to the Elwha River, which serves as the primary source of drinking water for the city. In response to the accident, the city promptly shut down the Elwha water system intake and ensured that clean water was provided to the community using the existing reservoir capacity. However, by early Sunday morning, July 20th, the reservoirs had reached critically low levels. To ensure that water pressure remained safe and consistent throughout the system, the city had to resume water processing to generate additional supply. The do not drink order was issued as a precautionary measure for approximately 9 hours. Multiple test results have since confirmed that the water is free from any fuel-related contaminants. The city's reservoirs are currently being replenished, and residents are encouraged to conserve water voluntarily to allow for a complete refill of the reservoirs. City Manager Nathan West expressed gratitude, stating, "We are incredibly thankful to our community for their efforts in conserving water over the weekend, and to the numerous city staff, volunteers, community partners, and government agencies who collaborated to ensure that drinking water was available to residents when it was most needed." On Sunday, approximately 81 pallets of water were distributed to affected customers. City police, fire, parks, and public works personnel personally delivered water to the Olympic Medical Center and other essential facilities, as well as to residents who were unable to reach the designated distribution sites. City staff also provided assistance at the water distribution locations. Recognizing that it may take some time for this information to reach everyone, the city will continue to distribute water until 6 p.m. on Sunday as planned. Alerts were sent to customers through the Everbridge Emergency Alert System. To receive future notifications via Everbridge, please visit www.cityofpa.us/Everbridge. http://www.cityofpa.us/Everbridge. For any inquiries regarding your water service, please reach out to the Public Works and Utilities Department during regular business hours at 360-417-4800 or via email at publicworks@cityofpa.us. ###update. Posted on July 20th at 11:15 a.m. The following bottled water distribution sites will remain operational until 6 p.m. today, Sunday, July 20th. Civic Field, 307 South Ray Street. Shane Park, 613 South G Street. City staff are actively restocking both locations with additional pallets of water. We understand that this situation can be frustrating, and we sincerely appreciate your patience as our team works diligently to assist everyone as quickly and safely as possible. Please be aware that as of 11 a.m., there is significant traffic congestion at both distribution sites. To enhance the distribution process and provide more options for our residents, the city has partnered with Clallam County to identify additional sources of potable water. Affected city customers are welcome to bring food-grade containers, like water jugs and bottles, to the following locations for limited water filling opportunities: Salt Creek Recreation Area, 3506, Camp Hayden Road, Port Angeles, Washington 98363. Dungeness Recreation Area, 554 Voice of America West Road, Sequim, Washington 98382. Please share this information with friends and neighbors who are affected by the Do Not Drink order currently in effect for City of Port Angeles water utility customers. This order does not apply to PUD customers. Thank you for your ongoing patience and cooperation. ###original post, July 20th at 8 a.m. As of 8 a.m. on Sunday, July 20th, a do not drink water order is in effect for all customers of the City of Port Angeles water utility. This follows a fuel tanker accident that took place in Indian Creek on July 18th. Water testing is currently being conducted as mandated by the Washington State Department of Health, DOH. However, some tests required by the DOH necessitate out-of-state reviews, which are taking longer than anticipated. At this moment, the city's water reservoirs have reached critical depletion levels. To maintain safe and consistent water pressure throughout the system, the city must begin producing additional water before all test results are finalized. ###What should you do? Avoid drinking tap water. Only use bottled water. Bottled water should be utilized for all drinking, brushing teeth, washing dishes, making ice and food preparation until further notice. This guideline also applies to pets. Do not attempt to treat the water yourself. The potential contamination is chemical in nature, not bacterial. Therefore, boiling, freezing, filtering, adding chlorine or other disinfectants, or allowing the water to stand will not render it safe for consumption. Tap water is safe for certain activities. You can use tap water for bathing, showering, flushing toilets, and doing laundry. However, please take care not to ingest any water while showering. This alert applies to all properties connected to the city's water system, regardless of whether they are located inside or outside of city limits. This alert is being issued as a precaution. It takes several hours for water processed at the facility to travel through the system and reach your tap. Customers are being notified through Everbridge. To sign up for emergency alerts via Everbridge, please visit our website, www.cityofpa.us/Everbridge, http://www.cityofpa.us/Everbridge. #water distribution sites. To assist the community during this challenging time, the city will distribute potable water on Sunday, July 20th. Free bottled water for drinking and cooking will be available at 2 locations in Port Angeles while supplies last. Civic Field, 307 South Ray Street, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shane Park, 613 South G Street, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Supplies will be limited based on household size. Water deliveries are being prioritized for the Olympic Medical Center and other critical facilities to ensure that essential services are maintained. ### Next steps. Please refrain from calling 911 for information. We will notify you once water testing is complete as directed by the DOH, and the issue has been fully resolved. Additional guidance may be provided as mandated by the DOH. We appreciate your continued patience and cooperation. For questions related to spill response in unincorporated Clallam County, please contact the WA State Department of Ecology. Tanker truck spill into Indian Creek, fuel spill response and cleanup. Imagine a peaceful summer day in 2025, suddenly disrupted by a tanker truck rollover and a subsequent fuel spill into the serene Indian Creek. This incident, which occurred on July 18, 2025, at 11:30 a.m., sparked a series of events that would impact the environment and the community of Port Angeles in Clallam County, west of Port Angeles. But here's where it gets controversial. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. The dual tanker truck, carrying a mixture of gasoline and diesel, overturned into Indian Creek along U.S. Highway 101. The truck's capacity was 6,000 gallons of diesel and 4,000 gallons of gasoline, and it was actively leaking into the creek. The volume of fuel that entered the water was initially unknown, but preliminary estimates indicated that around 3,000 gallons of the fuel mixture, mostly gasoline, had spilled into the creek. A multi-agency response was quickly initiated to contain the spill and assess the environmental impacts. The unified command included the environmental Port Angeles water crisis. Do not drink order lifted after tanker spill. A significant development has occurred regarding the water safety in Port Angeles, and it's crucial for residents to stay informed. The city has officially lifted the do not drink order that had been imposed on all utility customers, a precaution that lasted for most of Sunday. This order was enacted following a serious incident on Friday when a tanker truck crashed into Indian Creek, resulting in petroleum products contaminating the water supply. Indian Creek is a vital water source as it feeds into the Elwha River, which serves as the primary drinking water source for the city. In response to the contamination, water samples from the affected area were promptly analyzed by the State Department of Health, in collaboration with the State Department of Ecology and the Federal Environmental Protection Agency. The results confirmed that the tap water in Port Angeles is now safe for consumption, as communicated in an alert issued by the Clallam County Sheriff's Office on Sunday evening. Initially, the testing process took longer than anticipated, due to some required evaluations needing to be conducted out of state. This delay prompted the city to issue the no-drink order early on Sunday morning. The alert indicated that the city's water reservoirs had reached critically low levels, necessitating the production of additional water to ensure safe and consistent water pressure throughout the system, even before all test results were finalized. The no-drink order affected all properties connected to the city's water system, regardless of whether they were located within or outside the city limits. Fortunately, by Sunday night, the city's reservoirs were being replenished, although residents were still encouraged to conserve water voluntarily to allow for a complete refill. Port Angeles City Manager Nathan West expressed gratitude towards the community for their cooperation in conserving water over the weekend. He also acknowledged the efforts of city staff, volunteers, community partners, and various government agencies that worked together to ensure that residents had access to safe drinking water when it was most needed. On Sunday, approximately 81 pallets of bottled water were distributed to those affected. Port Angeles police officers, firefighters, and public works personnel personally delivered water to critical facilities like the Olympic Medical Center and to residents who were unable to reach the designated distribution sites. In a separate announcement, Clallam County Public Utility District, PUD, reassured its customers via a Facebook post that their water supply remains safe. They clarified that their interconnection with the city of Port Angeles's water system had been shut off since Friday morning, meaning that PUD customers were being supplied solely from unaffected water sources. Although previous drought water alerts remain in effect, all systems are confirmed safe for consumption. The Sheriff's Office alert had initially instructed Port Angeles utility customers to refrain from drinking tap water, advising them to rely solely on bottled water for drinking, brushing teeth, washing dishes, making ice, and food preparation until further notice. This caution also extended to pets. Residents were warned against attempting to treat the water themselves, as the potential contamination was due to chemicals rather than bacteria. Therefore, methods such as boiling, freezing, filtering, or adding disinfectants would not render the water safe for drinking. However, the alert did state that tap water could still be used for bathing, showering, flushing toilets, and laundry. Bottled water was made available for distribution from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday at Civic Field and Shane Park, with supplies allocated based on household size. The incident that triggered this situation began when a tanker truck veered off the roadway and into Indian Creek on Friday morning. The driver, Thomas Shaw, 58, of Port Angeles, was traveling westbound on Highway 101 around 10:23 a.m. when he failed to navigate a right-hand turn, causing the tanker to tumble down a 200 to 300-foot embankment and land upside down in the creek. Shaw, who was wearing a seatbelt, was taken to Olympic Medical Center for treatment. Fortunately, there were no indications of drug or alcohol involvement in the incident. The State Patrol attributed the crash to improper lane usage and issued a citation for second-degree negligent driving. Preliminary estimates indicated that approximately 3,000 gallons of a gasoline-diesel mixture, predominantly gasoline, had spilled into Indian Creek, as reported by the Sheriff's Office in a joint press release. In response to the situation, drivers were rerouted around the closure using State Highway 112, while Highway 101 remained closed until Saturday morning. Air quality monitoring conducted on Saturday showed no readings above safe levels for human health, but residents in the area were advised to remain vigilant for symptoms such as headaches or dizziness, and to seek medical attention if necessary. The Lower Elwha Clallam tribe was scheduled to conduct shoreline assessments to evaluate any environmental impacts resulting from the spill. A unified command has been established, comprising the Environmental Protection Agency, the Lower Elwha Clallam tribe, the State Department of Ecology, the Clallam County Sheriff's Office, and Petrocard, along with other responding agencies and contractors, including the State Department of Fish and Wildlife and Clallam 2 Fire Rescue. In a related effort, Senior Chemist Paul Burke from Libby Environmental Incorporated was seen testing a water sample taken from the Elwha River at a mobile lab set up outside the Clallam County Courthouse in Port Angeles. This incident raises important questions about water safety and environmental protection. What measures do you think should be taken to prevent such occurrences in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments.